hear a story and kind of resonates with people. So I can appreciate the idea behind it. It wasn't just something you guys just thought up randomly. It was actually like one of the biggest disputes in crypto is like, are you a BTC person? Are you an Ethereum person? Are you like an altcoin person? So taking these two ideas and then intermixing them into like, a project is really, really interesting to me.
We appreciate that. And it's important to note, I think that's a really good point. And I alluded to the team a bit, and, we'll talk maybe more about the team after, but, this team has been in crypto a long time. We've seen the cycles, over the past, over a decade. And we learned a lot from that. And so there's a very thoughtful design into, why Core was created, the tokenomics, but also on the community aspect, which I think we'll dive into more. But that was really like what you said was a big thing that we think makes us different. We've borrowed the best, what we feel are the best components from both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as you mentioned, there's a
that you guys kind of have more of an open ideology. Like I think that crypto was built for the people, by the people, and when you say that, it definitely resonates with me. That there's no us or them. It's more like we're here for everyone, and that's one thing at Huobi we really try to like connect with, is that we're open for everyone. Like if you like Bitcoin, that's fine. If you like Ethereum, that's fine. We're not like a chain agnostic or like pick one side or the other. We like think of it as like we're open for all. So when you said that, it really, really resonates with me in our mission, in our community, because we don't pick sides or anything like that. So it's a really great thing to hear about.
Yeah, we appreciate that you guys are aligned on that. It's great to be partnered with you. It's great to do events like this. I think we have a few more goodies coming this week, amongst a few other things. So yeah, we're really excited to be working with you folks at Huobi, and it's been a pleasure. So February 8th is going to be an exciting day.
Yeah, I actually have like a countdown clock on my Outlook calendar.
There you go, man.
We
borrowed some of our awesome images on the Twitter where we're doing a countdown. We've kind of been doing this really cool like 10 days countdown with like a new image every day. So you can incorporate those images into it.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I've been seeing the countdown. It's so it's so exciting to see all the hard work paying off in the community and all the hard work within the team. It's finally coming down to something that is very monumental in the industry, right? Like finally launching. So congratulations to all the hard work soon enough to pay off. But yeah, great. So like we talked about like what is Core and a little bit about the story. And you said something like, what is like Satoshi plus consensus, which I mean, I think I get what it is, but I like to hear your aspect of like, people are like, what does that mean? Or what is Satoshi plus consensus? And like, can you explain like a little bit about that? And then how does it differ from other consensuses?
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of alluded to that at a high level, right? So it's great. Thanks for asking about the actual details there of how it works. So Satoshi Plus, it's a great name. It's obviously a head nod to Satoshi Nakamoto and Bitcoin. Again, because we're believers that that's the most decentralized and secure consensus. That's why it's a key piece of the consensus of Core and Satoshi Plus. So what is Satoshi Plus? It's the actual consensus mechanism within the Core blockchain. So we actually have a vision, long-term vision that many chains or other teams can actually build on top of Satoshi Plus, and that will be the ultimate foundational consensus and chain in the future. But how does it actually work? So at a high level, what we mentioned was it was really meant to solve the blockchain trilemma, right, of decentralization, security, and scalability. And the consensus itself brings in and combines both delegated proof of stake, so users with Core tokens can stake to validators, and proof of work, specifically Bitcoin mining hash rate from mining pools. So those mining pools allocate their hash rate to different validators on Core as well. And we have this very novel hybrid scoring model that actually takes into account validators, delegated stake, and delegated hash to score them, and ultimately confirm transactions and blocks on the network. So that's basically how it works. Again, at a fairly high level, but that consensus we feel is more decentralized and secure than the sole delegated proof of stake mechanism, and it's really the foundation of the core blockchain. And that's kind of it was a big innovation, took a lot of work, a lot of academic research went into that white paper, which you can read on our website. We've had contributors from academia spend a lot of time and help influence that research and consensus mechanism, and we're really proud of it.
Yeah. I think having the best of both worlds is always good, and for anyone who's listening that they don't understand like what a consensus mechanism is, I highly recommend you to go to like Google and type in like proof of work Huobi learn. And we have like a whole bunch of articles about like what proof of work is and what proof of stake is. So you can literally type in, proof of stake and Huobi learn, and it'll come up with like a couple articles. Definitely deep dive into those. We try to keep educational like articles going for our community. And the same thing, like proof of work and proof of stake. These are things that if you don't know what that means, it might be difficult for you to understand, but definitely type them into Google. And Huobi Learn is our educational arm, so we try to like give you our articles to help educate you about what these consensus mechanisms are. So yeah, like I like the idea that you could try to keep it simple, but yeah, I like the idea of that. So yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's awesome that you guys have resources, and truthfully, we have a lot of net new folks coming into Core and trying crypto for the first time, and we have a goal of bringing a lot of that Web 2 crowd, which is 7 billion plus people who've never gotten into Web 3 yet. That's a big goal of ours. So it's awesome to hear that you guys have these, learning blogs and things that can help. So that's awesome that you just recommended that to the crowd. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of daunting to come into a space like this and not like hear all these technical terms. You're like, what does that even mean? It's like, so I try to write as many articles and try to publish as many educational articles as possible, because as you know, like Web 2 people, like maybe they're not up to date with like what all this means, but as a community and like as your community, like you said, you have articles and try to like push education, because that's gonna like help push the next people into crypto, and that's what we all want. We just want to build the community, which is really important.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we've taken that piece, very seriously. Because although we can innovate a lot on technology, which we feel we have with Satoshi Plus and the consensus and everything we've put in that white paper and mainnet's live, that was a lot of work, but we want people to use it. So it's important to bridge the community side and actually get people to use the project. And I've talked a bit about our team, but we're a global team all across the world, as most crypto teams are. But we have really deep experience, from people who've been deep in crypto for over a decade to teams that have built consumer apps and sold businesses. So we're kind of this well-rounded team that I think was able to take all those components and put it together. So it's kind of important to nail both for this technology to ultimately be used. Right?
Yeah, exactly. When I understood how it worked, like just by using it. So whenever you launch, like I tell people, like don't just like hold the coin, like transfer it to yourself if you want to, right? Or like just use it, because I think that's the easiest way to understand. Like you can read a book, but if you never experience the book itself, then you really don't understand how awesome it is. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys inspire people to use it.
I like that. I think that can be applied in many things in life. So
for sure. Yeah.
You gotta learn through the experience.
Yeah, it's the best way. I think you touched on earlier in the conversation. We talked about like building a strong community, and to me at Huobi, like that's one of our foundations. Is we always try to figure out ways to like whether it be Web 2 people to like crypto, or like we just want to continue to get more people to follow us on Twitter or whatever it is. we just try to consistently like make people feel welcome to join our community. And I gotta tell you, like, you have a huge community, and like I'm really in awe of like the power of CoreDao itself in the community that you've built. So I want to know, like, is there any like growth hack you could tell us, or like I want to learn from you.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's like the silver bullet pill. Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit for sure. And I don't, kind of want to stick to the question, but there's a lot there. So first of all, thanks for the kind comments. We worked really hard to build the community, and we'll give them a shout out here because they're quite incredible, and I'm sure they've been posting on your tweets, and you've probably noticed a lot of the engagement. So they're tier 1 VC, and that was very intentional because we saw a lot of projects kind of enrich. It's somewhat dumped on communities, so we wanted to take a different approach and actually include the community in the ownership of the chain since day one. And if you read our tokenomics on the blog, there's a very detailed view of that. We're actually allocating upwards of 25% to the community from day one. So how did we build up the community? So that was the intention. And then it was like, how do we actually do that? Because that was like a very key and thoughtful decision that we made, where we wanted to be different and be community owned. So the big thing that we did was we actually partnered with this innovative app called the Satoshi app. So it's a separate app, separate company. Again, it's called the Satoshi app, and it's basically like a price checking utility app where users can check prices, they can play games, they can solve quizzes, and use this app to learn a bit more about crypto. And so through our partnership with them, as they use the app, they learn more about Core, and they actually accrue rewards, which will be part of our airdrop happening on February 8th at the same time, 12 p.m. UTC. So we really built up this consensus that learned about our community. They kind of got engaged well before mainnet was even launched, and they're actually earning ownership and a significant amount of ownership upon launch. So because we've done that, there's just like a strong incentive to be involved, and there's a sense of ownership from day one. And that airdrop is going to be one of the largest of all time, well over 1 million addresses, and that's what's allowed us to build this massive community before, there's currently no, I should have said this before, but there's no tokens in circulation yet, other than, through the validators, because we haven't had any pre-sales or investors or sold any tokens yet. So I think that really resonated in the community, and that's allowed us to build this big following. But again, it's just the start, so there's much more to come. We're excited about projects being built on Core, and we want to get to the other 7 million people, but it's a really good start, and we're pretty fired up about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect idea. Like, I'm excited to hear more and how everything got started from that app. It's a really good story, and like the story that this app that helped you build it was something like, a collaboration of a sort, right? And we're big on like collaborations, so we feel like the more people that collaborate together will also bring more people in. So it's good to see that this one app kind of like, helped build it with you, and you guys did it together. So really cool.
Yeah, appreciate that. I mean, that's part of this AMA, and we'll probably do some other stuff in the future. So we believe in that too.
Yeah. Oh, do you? I just wanted to ask a follow-up question about the Satoshi app. Do you guys still basically, since you guys partnered with them, are you guys like two different companies, or did you guys take ownership of that, or how did that work? Is it still the relationship ongoing right now today, or?
Yeah, great question. It's completely separate companies, so I can't really speak necessarily on their behalf, but separate company. There may be a bit of overlap with some of the contributors at Core, but it's separate company. I don't know all the intricate details per se, so yeah, it's two separate things, and I think yeah.
We had a whole bunch of influx of new people, so I just want to give an interlude here. Anyone who joined, definitely make sure to check out the pinned tweet. we have a campaign for giving back to our community. Just make sure you look at it, interact with the tweet. Just want to make sure everyone's aware that just joined, because we have a lot of new people that just came into the space. So thanks for joining the space. Make sure to follow that pinned tweet and use some task, and you can enter to win the giveaway and also our quiz at the end. So we're going to give a password at the end, and you have to have that password at the end of the Twitter quiz in order to enter the win the giveaway. So it's a lucky draw. But yeah, I just want to make sure people are aware of that. And then at the end of the AMA, we take questions from our community. So if you have questions for him and you want to know anything in particular, send us a DM on Twitter. Our DM messaging space is always open. So just send us the question of like what you would like to ask him, and then what country you're from. So we try to give a shout out to all the countries that are attending. So yeah, make sure to send us your question at the end. We'll get to you. And we'll try to ask a couple of them if we have leftover time. So yeah. We talked about the app, and now I know that the token's listing very soon. So I know we get lots of DMs about more about the utility of Core. A lot of people are asking what's the utility, and how can we use it in the future? Is that something that we can dive into now?
Yeah, I think it's important, right? Like you said, using the coin's important. Learning more about what the token and the protocol actually does is important. So what I want to reiterate, we're a blockchain. So there's a lot of utility to the Core token that will be launched and available on Wednesday. So it's a great question. So the native token of the Core blockchain is called Core. So that's Core. Awesome name. Lots of puns happen during chats. I'm surprised I haven't had one yet, but it's the full name, and that is the native token of the blockchain. So similar to other L1 blockchains, or even L2s, the utility of the Core token is that it's the native currency of the blockchain, and what you would consider gas to interact with the Core blockchain. So if you want to send money on Core, make a deposit, or even if you're a developer who wants to deploy contracts on the Core blockchain, there is a small gas cost to that, right? That's how the blockchain works, and what basically solidifies the network, and that's the utility token of Core. It's also used in staking. So as we mentioned, we still do have delegated proof of stake as a key piece of the consensus and validator set. So you can stake your Core and earn rewards. And also by owning Core or having Core, you can participate in network governance. So there may be proposals in the future, etc. A lot of DAOs run in that way. So you actually get to participate in governance. So when it comes to the token, and we went over the utility there, there's obviously a ton of utility as a blockchain. The more demand and usage that developers and users have on the chain will be a major driving factor for the token. It's also important to note that if you read our tokenomics, we've taken a very long-term view, and again, this was really thoughtfully designed due to again the experience, right? So, example, we're paying out block rewards for over 81 years. We're not flooding the market with a crazy amount of supply in the very short term. We're taking a very long-term view, so it's important to note that as well. But you can read more about our tokenomics in the blog post. It's very detailed and all written there on our Medium page, which is Medium, and then you just look for CoreDao. We've also posted it. We post everything on our Twitter.
Yeah, so just to retort what you said, in three ways. The first one would be paying for gas. So when people send transactions using the cryptocurrency, gas is referred to as the transaction fee that you would send when you send a transaction. I do like the idea of governance, because that's really big, making power to the people per se. So if people want to have a vote on what the protocol does in the future, so they'll have a governance vote. And then these two things are really, I think, really important to consistently give back to the community, and also have some kind of, fees collected so that way you can continue building and make sure the protocols for the long term. I think these are ideas that we can all agree on and are very